Welcome everyone to Volusia Speedway here for the third week of the Winged 360 Sprint Cars here on Hammerdown TV on the Hammerdown iRacing League. We'd like to thank you all for joining. Apologies for that. I am Gary Weaver, and the point standings as of right now heading into this week, only 7 points will be separating Brett Wheeler and Braden Eiler first and second, respectively. Both drivers are here. Ryan Martin in the 24 is also here. He is in the point standings with 89 points in the third place position. Scott Bellum not too far behind with 82 points. And he is, at the moment, he definitely is here. And so is Dakota Kun with 78 points in the 095. He does not appear to be here this week, unfortunately. But we do have Brett Wheeler, Braden Eiler, Ryan Martin, and Scott Bellum first through fourth in the points. And as of right now, Chase Caber, or is that Chase Cabry, rather, he is on the pole as of right now. In fact, a two-way tie for the pole. There's always that fourth decimal point on scoring that is not shown. But as of right now, Chase Cabry and Jeremy Zarfos, they both have a 13.925 exact. Of course, once again, there's always that fourth decimal point. So Chase Cabry must have been, was that 1/10,000th faster? Yeah, or somewhere in the 10,000s. I will definitely tell you that. Chase Cabry actually, it's good to see him here because he's actually from the NASCAR Can-Am Pro East series. So it's very, very interesting to see a real world racer come over and hop on and join us for a little bit. So thanks to Chase for checking us out and giving his 2 cents in for trying out some dirt. And already, just from qualifying, he is doing an amazing job. And of course, he is already done with that time. So a little bit of a note is that Braden Eiler is ahead of Brett Wheeler in the qualifying standings. So, of course, we will decide to go over the top 10 for that, which, of course, are Chase Caber, Jeremy Zarfos, Braden Eiler, Jay Darren Literal, Matthew Williams, Dakota Cullen, Dennis Potridge Jr., Austin Carr, Scott Mueller, and Brett Wheeler. Of course, we do have roughly 20 drivers supposedly scheduled for this race. So we will see what heats are sorted to where for this whole race. But I believe it should be everybody advancing to the future race. So we may be doing that pretty quickly. Of course, as per usual, I believe a 40-lap main event for this week. So the 200 laps will be an accommodation for the caution laps if we do have any at all in the future race. And it looks like we'll be having roughly 18 drivers join us here for tonight's event. Scratch that, 17 actually. And just going to look over. So about 15 to 17 drivers here at Volusia. And this track, of course, a little bit different from the past two that we've been at. And of course, this track doesn't really prefer the top lane. I mean, you could try and work it out to the best of your abilities, but for the most part, Volusia is more of a low to middle line track. But you never know. We could be seeing some people take that top side in turns 1 and 2, and then opt to the low side in turns 3 and 4. Pace truck on the track. We will be having 2 heats as of right now. Top 2 advance to the future for the time being. 9 drivers in each heat. And we'll be starting off with the very first heat of the night. First 9 drivers: Chase Caber, Braden Eiler, Matthew Williams, Dennis Potridge Jr., Scott Mueller, Michael Mulcahy, David Heisa, Scott Bellum, and Jonathan Smith. So the field now starting to roll off for the first of 2 pace laps. Once again, top 2 will advance to the feature. And I believe actually from the turnout that we have, it should be everybody advancing to the feature. We have a projected 9 drivers for each heat. And I say projected, of course, for things that could be out of control of some of these drivers. For example, just in a way mechanical issues, but nonetheless, though, they should be able to make it to tonight's feature. 1 more pace lap remains here at Volusia, and we will be getting week 3 underway in 1 lap time. And the field heading through turns 3 and 4, Chase Cabry in control of the field. Bray Nyler starting to hit outside. Both of them set a 13.925 in qualifying. We'll see how they match up on the track as the green flag flies here at Volusia and almost even up and into turns number 1 and 2 on the front straightaway at the very least. We're at Cabry and Eiler as they head down the back straightaway now. Eiler all over that back bumper, trying to get whatever he can, find whatever momentum. Drivers using that middle lane to the best of their advantage as the field is already quickly spread out for the most part, and Bray Nyler is not letting that number 41 get away from him ever so quickly. Last time around, their lap times 14.018 for Cabry, 14.107, so about a tenth faster. It's going to be Cabry in heat number 1 for the time being. Meanwhile, a battle going on for the 6th place position between number 12 of Mueller, at least for the time being, not anymore now, and Scott Bellum. Bellum was looking to the inside in turns 1 and 2. And now that position 6 battle will turn to position 5 as Michael Mulcahy is under fire from the number 21. Number 12, rather, as they're both side by side. They almost make contact. Now they do enter in turn number 3. And that's going to loosen up the 21. He still manages to hang on to it as a small slide drop from the 717 of Scott Bellum. Back down to the inside will be the 21 of Mulcahy. Back up front, however, no change as there's still a gap between Cabry and Eiler. Looks like that battle around 5th place has decided to settle itself out very quickly, about as quickly as it had begun. But this is shaping up to be about a maybe a possibly 3-car battle for position number 5. 3 laps to go here in heat number 1 as the 41 and the 005 are leading the field, and the 013 Matthew Williams in 3rd, lurking just in case anything were to happen as we reach the 2 laps to go. A little bit loose off turn number 2 the last time around as the drivers take the white flag. A little bit loose was the 005, but now the 41 of Chase Cabry and the 005 of Bray Nyler will round turns 3 and 4. Chase Cabry comes off and wins heat number 1. And Bray Nyler almost, I think he ran out of fuel just coming across the start finish line, but he barely manages to finish in 2nd. And he did run out of fuel. My goodness, that was a close finish there. Only about 0.2 of a second. Goodness gracious, that was maybe a little bit heart-stopping for the 0 05, but he will come home in 2nd place. Heat number 2 shows the 51 of Jeremy Zarfos in the 1st place position. To his outside is the 680 of J. Darren Literal in 2nd. 3rd place will be the 95 of Dakota Kunn. 4th, Austin Carr. 5th, Brett Wheeler. 6th will be Robert Schaefer. 7th will be Ryan Martin. 8th, Michael Sheridan, and that will round out the Heat 2 starting grid. Pace truck making its way through turns 3 and 4 as we will reach the final pace lap here for the heats tonight. Pace truck ready to pull off to finish the second heat lap. Field in control, the 51, Jeremy Zarfos. He'll wait a bit. Green flag is out. Got the advantage and already contact between the 680 and the 13 of Austin Carr. That's going to loosen both of them up, and that's going to completely shove out that momentum that the 680 had from qualifying rather. And heavy into the inside wall. Goodness gracious, that is the 13 of Austin Carr. 680 also involved in Michael Sheridan on his side to start off heat race number 2 as Dakota Khan is up now in second place for the time being. Brett Wheeler in third place. Zarfo still in control of the field as once again the 95 of Dakota Khan is up in second position for the time being. 3 drivers out for the time being, unfortunately, and looks like Darren is going to have to limp that back into the pit road area. At 680 back out on the racing surface. Going to do the best they can to finish this race under its own power. Lap times the last time around between essentially the top 3. From first to third, a 14.449, 14.361, and then a 14.280. The fastest out of all this is Brett Wheeler, slideways off turn number 4. He's still managing to do whatever he can, 2/10 slower that time compared to both first and second, who's at a 14.3. But right now, Dakota Khan has that 51 in his sights. Out, even though it's pretty distant, still in the sights nonetheless. And right now, that 95 is trying to close in as quickly as possible this time by, as he only has 2 more laps to do that. A bit of lap traffic in the form of Austin Carr in the 13. This is where car positioning is key, and looks like Austin Carr is going to power off, most likely intentionally on the outside. Final lap in heat race number 2. To the top side goes the 51 of Zarfos. And this doesn't look like it will hurt his momentum any, as through turns 3 and 4 will be coming the number 51 and the 95. Jeremy Zarfos wins heat race number 2 and advances. So does the 95 of Dakota Khan. To see what we have up next, it looks like we will be heading straight to our 40-lap feature in less than 2 minutes time. So warm-up is now over, and we'll be heading right to our feature. Roughly 18 drivers, 17 drivers, and now 16 drivers will be taking to the track for 40 laps here this evening. Starting off in the first place position will be the number 41 of Chase Cabry. Second place is Jeremy Zarfos. Third place, Brian Eiler. Fourth place, Dakota Kunn. Fifth place will be Matthew Williams. And sixth place is going to be Brett Wheeler. Remember, the 005 and the 56 are battling in terms of points. Only 7 separate them for this week coming into the race. Seventh place will be Dennis Potridge Jr. Eighth place, Ryan Martin. Ninth place, Scott Mueller. And at 10th place will be Austin Carr. 11th through 16th will be the number 717 of Scott Bellum. And then to his outside is going to be Jay Darren Liggerell. The 13th place position is going to be occupied by Michael Mulcahy. Michael Sheridan starts to the outside in the 14th place position. Looks like we have a row specific for Michaels now, apparently, as David Heisel starts 15th, and that will actually be the field here for your 40-lap main event tonight. Field now coming onto the back straight for the final pace lap before we start the third week of the 360 Winged Sprint Car Series. Chase Cabry on the pole. And it is also a pleasure to have you here tonight, spending your Wednesday evening watching Hammerdown TV. Pace truck pulls off, and Chase Cabry already down and away. Green flag is out this time by, as Chase Cabry is already well away into the first place position, and Jeremy Zarfos falls back to third Jeremy Zarfos up to second. Braden Aller falls back to fourth, and right now a little bit of a very close battle for that fourth place position between the 95 and the 013, which has now quickly settled itself out. And possible challenge for first doesn't happen. Jeremy Zarfos was going to originally challenge for that first place position, and unfortunately couldn't do it. He looks to the inside again, coming off turn number 2. Goodness gracious, those two are very close to each other right now. Braden Aller in the background, not so much far behind at the very least, and he's trying to do the best that he can to catch up, as Dakota Kunn is lingering there in fourth place. Looking to the inside was going to be Braden Aller for second. Jeremy Zarfos instead decides he makes contact with the 41 of Chase Cabry, and they somehow still manage to make their vehicles keep moving forward. Goodness gracious, Braden Aller now attacks on the outside lane. He's trying to do the best that he can, and he does get to the outside. This time by Cabry, heavy to the outside wall, 3 wide for the lead. And to the inside, and quickly to the lead is Zarfos. Slide job into the 41. Aller looks to the inside for first place now as they enter turn number 1. Just from the back straightaway to the back straightaway to the front straightaway, Chase Cabry has already lost 2 positions, but he is still within the top 3. And right now, the 41 is trying to get back up, with the 51 of Zarfos will now put that 005 under fire with a heavy slide job right now. Coming off of turn number 2, they make a little bit of contact, it seems. And a little bit of a slide up, and to the inside moves the 005 to try and protect top side is Zarfos. And for third place, it is going to be between Dakota Kunn and the 41 of Cabry. 95 of Kunn. Slide job attempt doesn't happen. too much momentum from number 41, sorry. Now the 51 is going to be under fire from the 41, and you can pretty much just call this an entire, 5-car battle for first place already, because Brett Wheeler came from absolutely out of nowhere. But my goodness gracious, this is exciting racing. 2 different battles for 2 different positions. I'm personally keeping an eye on both. Goodness gracious. Slide drive from Cabry, not going to happen though, but it does cause the 51 Zarfos to check up ever so slightly off to number 4. Battle for 4th place has sold itself out, as Dakota Khan at the moment is in 4th place, and Brett Wheeler has sailed into 5th again for the moment. And as I say that, I was right, as 95-56 rather goes to the inside. Not a lot of grip and momentum on the inside. Now Zarfos will be under fire from the 95 of Khan. A little bit of contact off turn number 4 from the rear wheels, but they still somehow managed to keep going forward. Goodness gracious, who would have thought that not using a top line at a dirt track would actually be exciting? Pretty much everybody, as the 95 still tries to use that inside line to every single advantage, and that's basically what comes into play, is that low side always is pretty much the preferred lane. There's always middle, low, and the top side, which some of these drivers are now slowly starting to migrate to. Not up against the wall, mind you, but enough to probably be classified as the top side, just coming after number 2 there. So throughout all of this, Bray Nyler has somehow distanced himself from Chase Cabry. But under fire for 4th place is still Dakota Khan. Brett Wheeler looks to the inside and somehow still can't find a lot of momentum as of yet. Caution out on the raceway, first caution. And we will be looking around the raceway to see what happened. Maybe just a quick spin. I'm not seeing anybody fully around. So 17 laps completed under green, as we have the very first caution here of the night. And found the cause of the caution. It looks like it was the 680, unfortunately, of HDIRL Literal. Took to the top side in turns 1 and 2. Didn't have enough grip. Had to slow down. Got up onto the guardrail, and unfortunately, complications have happened, and he may have to retire for the night. As, of course, to be determined, as the lights on the pace truck are still active. Lights around the speedway and on the pace truck have now been extinguished. And let's see if Chase Cabry has anything for the 005 of Braden Eiler. Braden Eiler coming into this race second in the point standings. He is currently in the 1st place position. Brett Wheeler comes around into this race in first place in the standings, with only 7 points separating both of these drivers. Wheeler is currently in 6th. Green flag is out this time by. Braden Eiler goes to the low side to protect. As the green flag is underway, Chase Cabry already immediately shoots that 005 under fire, and crossover from Eiler, as they are now side by side down the back straightaway into turns 1 and 2. Dakota Khan looks for 3rd place as they make contact ever so slightly. Zarfos hangs on to 3rd, and Eiler hangs on to 1st, and Cabry didn't get a good entry, unfortunately, in turns 1 and 2, as this time by we should be having 20 laps to go. And a little bit of slow momentum for Cabry, unfortunately. That's going to hold up Zarfos, and that's going to force the 95 to the inside in turns 1 and 2. No dice as of yet, as far as the challenge goes, although a very big challenge for 5th place, rather. Michael Sheridan tried to get to the inside. He held 5th place for a few moments in terms of on-track position, but Brett Wheeler in 5th place for the time being. Zarfos looks to the inside, so does Dakota Khan. almost a 3-car battle for second place. Right now, it's a 2-car battle for third, as that 95 is still trying to attack that 51 on the inside as best as he can. Halfway this time by slide job on Zarfos from the 95 of Con crossover from Zarfos, and to the inside, almost making contact in turns 1 and 2. And Brett Wheeler is just loving this right in front of him. Now he's going to head down to the inside, trying to attack Zarfos in the 51 for the 4th place position, but Zarfos successfully defends using that middle lane. This battle for 4th is still ongoing as Zarfos still tries to hold off Wheeler on the inside. Brett Wheeler does have the inside. Slide job attempt incoming. Pulls it off very successfully on Zarfos, and Zarfos couldn't get down to the inside, unfortunately, in time to try and challenge for that 4th place position entering turn at number 1. But he can in turns 3 and 4 as he makes it to the inside, but not a lot of momentum or grip there for that number 51 machine. Brett Wheeler slowly moving his way up through the field. Last time around, he was 0.2 of a second faster than Dakota Kun. So that means that an incoming battle for 3rd place is more than likely, but right now, current battle for 5th place, no, maybe not. Michael Sheridan keeps trying for that inside lane, and he's doing an amazing job staying with that number 51 for that 5th place challenge right there. I'll forget what I said about drivers not using the top side here at Volusia, because, well, pretty much all of these drivers have migrated to the top side, exiting the corner, and you can see that from these front 2 runners, Braden Eiler and Chase Cabry. Both of them using that top side. Look at that momentum gain, and unfortunately, it's going to be quickly halted. Matthew Williams in the 013 on his side. Watch out, leaders. Looks like this all started coming off turn number 4. When the 013 Matthew Williams slid up and unfortunately called it way too soon. Scott Bellin more than likely tried to get down to the inside and sent for a violent hit on the outside wall, rather. And that sent him over on his side, causing the 2nd caution here tonight. So some race facts for you while we await the 1 to go signal, as we do get that now. So just to pass the remaining time, the fastest lap for both drivers here in this race, the front 2 runners, Braden Eiler has set a 14.795. Chase Cabry has set a 14.785. That's 0.01 seconds faster. And these 2 drivers are essentially the same people, just in different vehicles and different paint schemes. It's exciting, though, to see what they have in store. 11 laps to go.
Green flag, green flag.
This time by, green flag is out. Braden Eiler goes to protect, and he's going to leave the outside lane open. Crossover attempt. No, Eiler protects on that 41. Entering turns 1 and 2, and that's going to leave the outside open for the 95 of Dakota Kun. And to the inside comes Brett Wheeler, and Cabry doesn't have a lot of grip on the low side. He entered the corner way too low, unfortunately. He doesn't have a lot of grip on the low side, but he is trying to challenge for 2nd place as he almost comes up in front of that number 95 of Dakota Kun. He is still sticking in 2nd place. Should be 10 laps to go this time by, I believe, and now low 95, taking the base maneuvers down to the inside. Goodness gracious, this is absolutely amazing to see. As to the outside comes the 56 of Wheeler, who's already under fire from Zarfos, who's on the inside. So your top three is essentially single file. And right when I say that, wow, contact between the 95 and the 56. That's going to send Wheeler back, as looks like the Dakota may have already, from that, looks like he was already just going to use his normal line. You take the top side and enter into turns 1 and 2, but the 56 was ever so slightly there. To the inside, however, for the lead, tried to go chase Cabri. Still, it couldn't get done, unfortunately. Brian Aller still hanging on to the lead, as battles for third and fifth are still brewing. This is essentially a 6-car battle for the lead right now. 5 laps to go at the start-finish line this time around. And that means it is crunch time for the 41, the 95, the 51, the 56, and maybe the 010 of Sheridan if he can somehow sneak his way back up and up into the top 3. But here comes Dakota Khan with 4 laps to go. All over that back bumper, the 41 of Cabri, as Brian Aller is just sailing away as best as he can. Caution is out with 4 laps remaining. So it should be a 4-lap shootout, I believe, this time around when we get the green. We'll be seeing what the cause of the caution was here. The 3rd caution of the night. And I'm not seeing anything, actually, so not sure what had happened here. But nonetheless, we are under caution for the time being. And a correction on the laps remaining, we actually have 3 laps to go when the green flag comes out. Cause of the caution found. Unfortunately, it was the number 10 of David Heisa, who may have run out of fuel coming off of turn number 2. It sure seems like it. A tough break for the number 10, unfortunately, for Heisa. So 3 laps to go when we take the green flag. The 3-lap shootout between Aller, Cabri, Dakota Khan, Jeremy Zarfos, Brett Wheeler, and Michael Sheridan. We've seen these top 6 drivers essentially all right next to each other. And Sheridan has been laying in the back for the most part, but you never know what could happen on restarts. As the 1 to go signal is given, and the lights on the pace truck and around the racetrack are off. Three-lap shootout this time around. And it's going to be very, very interesting to see what the 41 can do and what the 95 can do. Pretty much anybody in the top 6, maybe even farther back if anything does happen. The anticipation is high and the adrenaline is rushing, no doubt, for the 005 of Brian Eller. Pace truck ready to pull off. It pulls off. Green flag is out. Maybe a little bit of a nudge from the 41. He already gets to get outside. Entering turns 1 and 2 on the back straightaway. Doesn't happen, though, as Eiler, with 3 laps to go, somehow enters down in front of the 41. Cabri down to the inside. Slide job incoming from the 41. Then he makes it stick. But to the inside goes the 005 that time around. At the line, it was the 41 Cabri, and that's going to force the 005 into the inside lane. This time by Dakota Khan gets to the inside and passes Eiler. Brett Wheeler right behind. These two 7 points separating each other. Second place now is under fire, Dakota Khan. And right when I say that, Brett Wheeler having some problems in the back, but nonetheless, Chase Cabri back up front in first place. Should be the white flag this time by, as Dakota Khan crosses the line second place, and Brian Allen may be out of fuel. Or that's the end of the race, not really sure, but something happened to the 005, watching the drivers right now, and that is actually the race. So everything is now over. The race results are in, and I think just barely at the line may have been Braden Eiler in third or second, but nonetheless, though, Chase Cabri wins his first race, and actually, no, second place is Dakota Khan. Third place will be Braden Eiler. An exciting race and an exciting shootout here. Congratulations to Chase Cabri on his first win. We'll get an interview with the top 3 drivers here in a few moments' time. But first, we're going to head down through the finishing order of all 15 drivers that have started this race. Chase Cabry, in his first start, has won here at Volusia. Congratulations to him. Dakota Kun finishes second. Third place is Braden Eiler. Fourth place will be Scott Bellum. Fifth place is Brett Wheeler. Finishing sixth place will be Jeremy Zarfos. Seventh, Dennis Potridge Jr. Eighth place, Michael Mulcahy. Ninth will be Ryan Martin. 10th is going to be Michael Sheridan. May have had some complications, unfortunately, for that 0-1-0. 11th will be Michael Williams. David Heisa possibly ran out of fuel. Finishes in 12th. J. Darren Literal, unfortunately, had a run-in, quite literally, with the turns 1 and 2 outside guardrail. He comes home 13th. 14th will be Scott Mueller, and 15th is going to be Austin Carr. So I say we go from third to first, and bring Braden Eiler in here. The third place finisher, my goodness, somehow. Again, just for a reference, if you will, Braden Eiler finished in third place. Fifth place finished Brett Wheeler. So these point standings are no doubt going to be changing ever so slightly, as coming into this race, it was only 7 points separating both of those drivers. So Braden Eiler, of course, will be getting a little bit of a leg up, as we'll see if we have Braden Eiler here. Braden Eiler, do you have a copy on this?
Yes, sir.
Well, you had an amazing run, and unfortunately, on that restart, Chase Cabry got the better of you, but you did still manage to come home in the top 3 and third place, and possibly after this race, will be on top of the point standings after this race. So, all in all, not a bad race for you. So, how was the track out there tonight?
Track was awesome. There was I think there was multiple lines in 1 and 2, and I didn't try the bottom in 3 and 4, but I think if someone started running it, probably could get it to work. But all in all, I think the track was pretty good.
I definitely did manage to pull off a great job, though, pulling off this third place finish. And a bit of a fun fact that you and Chase Cabry were pretty much running identical lap times at some points in the race, even in qualifying. So, how was that for you, knowing that somebody was pretty much just as fast or just that little bit faster than you on the racetrack?
I knew we had a pretty fast car, but yeah, man, Chase was running the same line I was, and it just seemed that he'd pull on me a little bit, and then the caution come out, and he'd get a good restart. So I think he had a faster car, but we let a lot of the race, so I think we had a shot.
I definitely did do an amazing job again. Still came home in third place. So before we let you go, anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to or thank for your third place finish here this week?
I'd like to thank everyone at Black Diamond, my dad and family, Robert Hammer down for putting this on, and also Brett Wheeler at Ultimate Dirt TV.
Well, we are going to go ahead and let you go. Congratulations once again, and amazing job for putting on a show for us here tonight.
All right, thank you.
So that was Braden Aller, your third place finisher. Second place finisher is going to be Dakota Khan. Do you have a copy on this?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, congratulations for finishing in second. You were laying back for it seemed to be that you're laying back for a majority of the race, but you did somehow pull off pretty much a last lap pass crossover coming off of turn number 2 on the 05 of Brandon Aller, and you find yourself home in second place. So how's it up there on the podium position there in second?
Really good. I don't know. I don't think I was really laying back. I was really trying hard, and just it just got hard to pass with the getting real slick, and it was fun to race with Jeremy and Brett there for a while, and just kind of got lucky with getting a second with Braden running out of fuel. So sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah, it did appear that Braden did run out of fuel just at the last few moments, but still a second place finish for you here this weekend. Double checking the point standings. You are fifth place coming into this week, rather. So you did also finish ahead of Brett Wheeler. So also ahead of the 24 and the 717, I believe, ever so slightly. So of course, it's going to be interesting to see what the point standings hold. And what are your expectations for next week?
Play week by week. I'm pretty involved with Wheel Racing. I'm a car chief for Cody Hartlaw up here in PA with his 358 sprint car. So it's depends on how it goes. Next Wednesday probably won't happen because we race next Thursday. So when I get on, it's every once. It's hard to get on. It's every once in a while, and when I do, it's just some league stuff. So we'll see what next week brings and go from there.
Oh, that does seem more than understandable. So before we let you go, anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to for tonight's second place finish?
Yeah, I got to thank my guys at UDSRA with Michael Rosendahl forming our team. Then I got to thank Tim Hunt Designs and Dirtco Media House. Then I also got to give a shout out to my teammate Chase there. I was running some real life stuff and it was kind of working, and he sent me something that was kind of off the wall, and I tweaked it a little bit, but mainly it's Chase's setup. So I really got to thank him for that, and Hammer Down for putting the race on, and you guys up in the booth.
Certainly a blast broadcast commentating this race here at Volusia. And goodness gracious, this track is a lot more exciting than I thought it would be. So congratulations again for your second place finish, and we will see you whenever you decide to race next.
All right, thanks, guys.
And finally, the race winner, Chase Cabre, do you have us?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, congratulations on your first start and your first win here tonight. So, goodness, where do I even start? Well, you do race in the K&N Pro East Series, so that's pretty exciting to see you take some a little bit of time off and go ahead and try out this dirt racing here on iRacing. So, quick question: how is racing the Pro East Series compared to dirt racing here on iRacing? What's the difference that you see between that?
Oh, I mean, it's totally two different worlds of racing. You know, going from the first of all, in general, payment racing to dirt racing. Um, you know, racing payment and running the K&N Pro Series super stressful. You know, you get 5 to 6 hours of practice in a weekend. You know, you stay really busy. You know, all day long. It's an all day process, and um, you know, if you get in a car and just say you wreck or something happens, there's a lot bigger consequence to flipping 17 times going down the back straightaway in an iRacing car. So, you know, it's really fun to get on iRacing and have some fun and come run some good leagues like Hammer Down, and it's a new league I feel like that I've seen pop up here recently. I know it's been around for a couple years, but recently it's really been popping up and getting a lot of racers in it. So good to see them getting a good turnout, and really fun to come out here and to run it.
Yeah, it's definitely good for you. Good for us to see real world drivers like you just come in and try this out. So, of course, before we let you go, anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to for tonight's race?
Absolutely, the guys at UDSRA, we finished 1-2 today, which is really cool. So they got a good little setup underneath us with this new build, and we'll just keep pushing forward and see where it goes from there.
Well, it was certainly a pleasure seeing you try out dirt racing here on iRacing. And of course, before we let you go, one more question. How difficult was it to find the correct line, or was that pretty easy here for dirt racing?
No, it's pretty difficult. This new build, it's really hard to see exactly where you should go. You know, the old build was, I wouldn't say necessarily hard to see. It's just it was more predictable in the other builds, which it's really cool to not have any idea of where you should be. And it's really fun how the first part I led and I thought, all right, we'll be pretty good. Uh, next thing I know, I'm battling, trying to stay in the fourth spot, and then next thing I know, I'm battling for the lead, and it was really cool to kind of move around and see the different lines um, and see where I was missing, and then trying different things. At the end, I thought about trying that middle line and sliding to the top instead of going all the way to the bottom in one, and that allowed me to get a good run going down the back straightaway and end up putting the slide job on and was able to make it stick. So.
That is good to know that you definitely had fun and love experimenting with this. So hopefully we see you next week or whenever you decide to join us next. So we're going to go ahead and let you go, and congratulations on your win.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
So that was the Canon Pro Series East racer Chase Cabry, winner here tonight. Congratulations to the top 3 finishers here tonight. And we're going to go ahead and sign off. And we hope to see you next week. Once again, if you want to check us out or race, head to HDIRL.com and go ahead and sign up, take a look around, and we will see you next time. Good night.